Go. All
There
right.
you go.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Larry Powell. I am from Fort Worth, Texas. I don't know if you knew that, Ben, did you?
No, I did not.
Really? I'm from Fort Worth. A lot of people, they don't even think I'm from the state of Texas. I don't know why. Some of them say they can't hear my Texas twang. But yes, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, born and bred. I've been in real estate now for 14 years, although my background is in marketing and advertising. I did that for a good 35 years. And, currently also I'm a professor of advertising at the University of North Texas.
And again, that's a unique distinction. I can assure you, we have not had an educator on. I think we've had some school teachers who have made the switch,
Okay.
but you're still in that business, right? I mean, you're still at the university, right?
I am. I am. Yeah, although I'll be retiring at the end of 20, not the end of 27, but in May of 27 will be my last year teaching.
Get out. Okay. I'm sure already I'm sure you're excited about it, and yet I'm sure there's something still inside you that says, "Man, I've given so much to this. Um, are you ready? Are you really ready to give it up?"
Oh, I'm more than ready. I've
Yeah,
had
right.
time to think about it. Although, different from a lot of people who, come into real estate, they're leaving a job or profession that they don't enjoy. I happen to love both. I love real estate. It's a passion for me, but, advertising has been my, vocation for many, many years. When I left, working as a professional in the industry, I decided to teach it because I still love it and I'll still have an attachment to it in some way, form, or fashion. But as far as being in the classroom, time is up. There's
Thumbs up.
enough of that.
I got it. I got it. Well, do you because you're in front of young professionals. Uh, has any of those young kids ended up using you as a real estate professional?
No, none of them have done that, but I have had some who found out that I was a real estate agent, asked me questions about it, which I answered, and a couple of them have gone on to go to work in real estate. Some, from the marketing side of it, helping realtors market their business, and some have actually gone into other directions, maybe as a real estate agent themselves or a professional in some other capacity, whether it's lending or something like that.
Well, nice. Now,
Mhm.
again, here's a related question. So you've taught, I mean, hundreds and probably hundreds of students, and guided families through some of the most, difficult and biggest decisions they've ever made or will ever make. Which classroom has been harder for you?
You mean, working in the industry versus working in real estate?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good question, Ben. Let me think about that for a minute. Let's see, which has been the hardest for me? Um, I don't know. I'd have to say both have had their challenges.
Yes.
And then, about or each of them has been comfortable in some ways. I guess if somebody held something to my head and said you got to pick one, I'd have to say the real estate because it's a very critical decision that people have to make.
Yes.
Generally, the most expensive decision that somebody will have to make in life. So I take it very, very seriously. Advertising, while important for someone's business to market it, your home is associated with your life and every part of what you might do for 10, 20, 30, 45 years. So yeah, thinking about it that way, I'd have to say the real estate is a much more serious classroom and teaching experience.
Yes. I would agree and concur all day.
Yeah,
Um, Larry, I feel like since I've known you and I've known you for quite a while.
I
Even
know.
though, right?
It's been because I met you first.
Yes, I
Yeah,
know.
you're one of the first people I met in real estate. So full circle moment here, folks.
Full circle indeed, indeed. Tell me this. I feel like you're transitioning into this senior specialist. Um, has that been because of I mean, your passion, your heart, or has it been because of your age or our age?
I like the concept.
And what you've seen happening, I'd
Yeah,
say, in the marketplace.
all of the above.
Okay.
Just like most agents, when they come into the business, they'll take whatever comes their way. Whether you're working with first-time home buyers, somebody, who's selling their home for the first time, listing their home, etc. And I've done all that. But Ben just mentioned they're taking on this role as a senior transition specialist, I call it. And so I'm working with individuals and families and their adult children who are 55 plus, who are looking to either retire or downsize. And that came through a personal experience 10 years ago. My own mother, who at that time was about 80 years old, was had gotten to a point where she wasn't able to live alone anymore. And I come from a family of all brothers. I happen to be divorced. I didn't have a wife. I have another brother who lived near her, but he had a very thriving business, and my other two brothers are out of town. So it's just us here. Unlike a lot of people who are from Texas, they have cousins and aunts and uncles and all that. I only at that time had four relatives in the area. So I literally had to move in with my mother to help her out because she was just starting to have a lot of challenges. And
Mhm.
at that time, I started to realize that no matter how vibrant you are in your lifetime, there's going to come a time when you're going to need help. And who better for me to learn that from than my own mother? So anybody out there who's 55 plus, if you haven't had an experience like this, it's coming. Whether it's directly or indirectly, it will happen. And so during that time, and without going into a lot of detail about it, I started having to go with my mother to her doctor's appointments, and I took over paying for her bills and just really all of the responsibilities that she had taken care of, for me and my brother's entire lives. My dad died many years ago, when we were kids. So through that experience, and after she passed away, and having to sell her house and divide the proceeds among my brothers and myself, I just learned a lot of things related to life, but coupled with it with real estate. Things like airship affidavits, things like making sure that assets were divided equally in all those, and I kind of developed an affinity for that, and after which I started to get calls from a lot of my high school classmates who started to have similar experiences with their own parents. So one after the other, I started helping them with helping them sell their parents' homes and getting their parents transitioned. Like their living parents, we would find like a senior living community for them, or they might transition into the homes of their adult children. So I learned a lot in that process, but I thought or started thinking then of this more than just a profession, but almost like a almost like
Calling.
a calling and a mission.
Absolutely. Yes.
And two, I just have a heart for seniors, although I'm one myself now, but I have a heart for making sure I know that they're taken care of, that they're and more importantly that they're not taken advantage of. So that's how that rolled off. So now, yeah, at the same time, I'll still handle typical retail sales and purchases. I really am building up my whole business around 55, the 55 plus segment.
I think it feels so appropriate that one, we're having this conversation because yesterday my 1 o'clock appointment
Yeah.
was exactly that.
Yeah.
These folks are going to be moving down to Temple to a
Yeah.
little facility down there.
Yeah.
And so over the next 5 weeks, we're transitioning between estate sale companies, my stagers, my contractors to get that property ready. And this will be just in the last year, I think this will be my fourth client who's made that transition.
Look at
So
you. Look at
yeah,
you.
I know. Well, I think it's part of one, just maturity after, decades in this industry and being a senior myself,
Oh,
right? And I think that you're right about making sure that they're being served
Yeah,
and not taking advantage of.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Well,
I applaud your heart for that. So
yeah, I was going to say about that also, baby boomers have come of age. So you may or may not have heard about the silver tsunami, the
mhm,
largest segment, in history. They're going to need housing, and the fastest growing population in the United States is 85 plus. People
mhm.
are living a lot longer. If you've worked with seniors, particularly those transitioning into senior living, you're going to find that there are now waiting lists for them to even get in. So there's a whole market for what the segment is needing right now.
Yep. Yep. Well, again, I applaud that effort and work because I know how important it is. Now, I've had to change my schedule on Mondays and Thursdays. Now, I basically I'm with my dad all day, all night, and I'm the one who puts him to bed.
Yeah,
So I understand that. And the interesting thing is, I feel like it hasn't really affected my business. It's not like I can't answer my phone when I'm with my dad, right? Or
right.
I can't jump on the computer if need be. So. Um,
Oh,
in a weird way, it's been kind of not just interesting, but I'd say refreshing. I feel I can't even describe the feeling. Just being in a position to do this, because if we had 9 to 5s and didn't run these businesses, we wouldn't have those opportunities. And I truly believe just changing your mindset around it, not that, man, I have to take care of my mom. It's like, oh no, you get to take care of her. You get to serve her. And me with my dad,
yeah,
it puts a completely different feeling on it,
yeah.
and I think makes my heart happy that I'm in that position, and I know you feel the same way.
100%. What you just said, when I was going through that was exactly how I felt. It was a honor and a privilege, to take care of my mother at a time when she needed it most. So
100%.
I feel blessed that I had that opportunity. I really do.
So that niche, is it does it account for 20% of what you're doing now, or has what does that percentage look like?
Oh, let's see. So I would say right now, I would say maybe about 20 to 30%, but I've never really marketed it until now. Your timing is great because I just launched a new website that's focused on that. Have you seen it?
I've seen it.
You haven't
I've
seen it. You
seen
gotta
it.
see my new
Yes.
website. It's all focused on that. I won't turn this into a marketing for me, but I'm really proud of it. So I'm doing all kinds of things around it. I'm building a senior community. So rather than people coming to me when they need this, I'm gonna go to them before they need it. Because here's the thing that I found out the most: hardly anybody plans for getting older. And I don't care whether this is somebody who has a high school education or a PhD, it's the same. Somebody turns 75, 80 years old, and then they panic and like go, what am I going to do? And I'm not saying that there's nobody, but very few of the people that I've worked with have done that. So it's all new to them. So, really, what I'm trying to do now is to get people thinking about things like that long before. I've started a new group. I also have a new Facebook page. So, my
I think
Facebook,
I got the invitation to
you
that.
got
I
the
haven't
invitation?
accepted yet. I
Oh,
will.
accept it, accept it. So, okay. So, the Facebook, I call it a Facebook community, is called DFW 55 Plus Movement. And so, what I'm going to start to do is create events for people who are seniors, most of whom are going to either be retired or about to retire. And a lot of times what happens when people retire is they just stick around the house and they stop doing things. Well, my initiative is going to get people to get out and to keep doing things. You're 55 now. Don't wait till you're 65, 75. Come out and do some stuff with us. It could be something as simple as just going to see a movie and just meeting new people and talking about what's going on in your life, or it could be something that lasts a little bit longer. Nothing would last more than 2 days. Like, hey, we're going to go down to we're going to take a van down to Waco and go to Magnolia Farms. We're going to have lunch, uh, chit chat, have a good time, and then we're just going to come back. And for some people, it's to build friendships, to learn, to just continue to live life. And in that process, what I want to do is make sure and to talk to people about what's going to be next for you. What's going to happen when you're 65? What's going to happen when you're 75? What's going on with your parents? So again, it's to get people to talking about this long before it becomes a pressing issue.
Yeah, that excites the hell out of me.
Sure.
And I will
Well,
tell
then
you,
join my group. Then join my group.
I will join it. I promise you that. What's
Good, good.
crazy, we just, I guess just a few weeks ago, we held another one of our events, and it was just dance lessons.
Yeah,
And you'd be shocked at how many people were there
yeah,
and that show up, people who can't dance, some who can dance.
yeah,
But it's not about the dancing at all. It was simply about community, and that's what you're building.
yeah,
And you're right. That's why I started hosting so many of the experiences in the client appreciation events that I do was simply to get people out of the house.
sure.
Even married folks like myself, 40 years with the same person, it's like we've got stale or stagnant. We just don't do a whole lot. And I
Right.
think sometimes these events forces you to get out, enjoy yourself, have a date night, meet new people. And again, you and I both know if we sit here and spend our time on the couch, boom, that'll rapidly enhance our decline.
That's
It'll go
exactly
the other way.
that's
It'll go
exactly
the
right.
other way.
That's
So
exactly right.
I can't applaud you anymore. I'm so excited for what the future holds because we're in that group. But I think it's the point is you don't even have to be in that group to serve that group.
Right.
So
Right.
just be mindful of it and know that if there's a need or you need some information, I can tell you this gentleman right here, he's eager to help. And you'll do whatever it takes to make sure that they get the proper information they need and the help they need. So
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you for
Let me
everything
tell
you're
you
doing.
one other thing. On my website, I'm building a portal that is very comprehensive where seniors can go to find any and everything related to aging. So it might be something as simple as how do I sign up for my Medicare or Medicaid benefits? Where's my nearest Social Security office? What kind of services might they have through AARP? So rather than going to 15 or 20 different sites,
Mm.
I'm going to have a portal that contains all that information. But it's being worked on now.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. So, well, let's get to something a little personal. So, I
Uh-oh.
mean, people know you as the educator, the real estate professional. Um, what would surprise us about you when no one is watching? A daily habit, maybe a belief, something that will give us that interpersonal view of Larry Powell that probably no one sees.
Well, I think that would be, I recognize a lot of times talents in people that they don't see in themselves.
Okay.
So it could be, and everybody tends to be like this. Somebody who's a great singer in their head is not running around saying, I'm a great singer. Somebody who is a fantastic artist, they almost feel like everybody else can do that until there's somebody who encourages them. And so um, I'm constantly recognizing things in people that would be beneficial to other people. I have conversations about this every night. In fact, I try to stop myself from doing it because I feel like everybody, first of all, have to be motivated themselves to do things. I have a friend who's really excellent at furniture design, but guess what? All the furniture, or she refinishes furniture. She can take a old bedroom set from, the 1950s and turn it into something that's art. But she'll do it and it'll just sit in her garage. And I'm like, people need to know about this. Like, why aren't you posting on Facebook Marketplace and doing things like that? Or I have another one who's really good at interior design. It's like I could use, in fact, I've used her for home staging. I'm like, but why don't you market yourself and you do this for more people? But nine times out of ten, they don't recognize that as a talent. So I guess my skill would be, I guess you would call it seeking out and finding unsung heroes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that's related to all those many years in the classroom? And I mean, and here's what I envision, and I think that's why you've been in it for so long. And I'm sure if I asked your pupils, all the students that you've taught, I'm sure there'd be a recurring theme of what Mr. Powell was about, or what he taught them, because I think that's what makes a good educator. And I think many of them will remember the lessons that you've taught them from a marketing or advertising or just, human behavior. Because I think that, when you see so many kids, especially, boy, you can spot talent. You can see those who shy away, but they know the answers. They're afraid to step up. Then you've got some who are, they just want to hear themselves talk all day long, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, those are the students who all their lives were told, you're really smart, and so they kind of get used to that. But yeah, it's more the students I pay attention to who have that talent, but who won't let it shine through.
Yes.
And these a lot of the times are the ones who they'll stay after class to talk.
Yes.
They
Yes.
won't talk in public and things like that. But I find that to be true with adults and just, people in life. You have to pull them aside and give them encouragement. So I think that's important for all of us. We need it. And quite frankly, even people who you find to be very strong and willing to do things, they need encouragement as well, because they tend to be those individuals who nobody says, probably like you, Ben, did you have a hard day? Somebody needs to ask you those kinds of questions too, because no matter how strong somebody might seem in front of everybody else, we all have a hard day, and we need some encouragement.
100%. Yeah, it's the beauty queen who doesn't even get invited to the prom or to an event because folks are, they think she's got it all, this or that, and I can tell you, I experienced it firsthand. Even my business motto is I'm the one to lean on,
Yes.
and I'm always there for everyone else. And after going through the biggest tragedy any parent would ever want to experience, I realized that I needed support. I needed to be able to lean on somebody, and there was almost no one who asked me, what I needed because I was the one always approaching others. So your point is so valid. So
Uh, yeah,
well,
we could talk about that for days and days and days. And I know, I mean, when I met you, I could tell you a really strong person, and having gone through something like that would be very, very difficult. But for somebody who's always the leader, it's hard to approach the leader and say, "How can I help you?" Because they feel helpless helping somebody who has so much strength.
right, right. Well, again, we all need it, and again, I appreciate this community, the folks who show up week in and week out, the people who watch it after we post it this afternoon, because I think it's going to give them a little insight as to who Larry Powell is. Because one, I think you're a special brother, and the work
Man,
you're doing.
back at you, man.
Well, again, I appreciate that because we do have a mutual admiration society thing
We do.
happening here. But again, I just applaud you because it's so needed. And I think just service, because again, we're putting our needs well behind these folks who look to you for leadership and guidance, and you're delivering that. So, and our time moves so quick because hell, it's almost 30 minutes. So,
Oh, really?
um,
Oh,
give me something. Um, Let me, from a business standpoint, besides this, your senior transition specialist, where is the rest of the business coming from? And are you finding, especially here in 2026, as challenging as things are, what are you, let me ask you this, what are you going to do in the second half of the year? Because we're here that maybe you didn't do in the first half of the year in order to see, maybe things tick up a little bit? Or is there one thing or is there a few things?
there's a lot of things now.
Okay, okay.
Um, so here's what I would tell people about myself. I don't know if I'm the best real estate person or agent, but I know advertising and marketing, and and I've done it for other people for many, many years. But a lot of it I'll admit to this group, I hadn't done for myself. But in the
Okay.
summers, I don't teach, so I've had time to get my brain wrapped around a lot of stuff this summer. So I'm for the rest of the year and moving forward, I have a very comprehensive marketing plan that I'm putting in place. I started with, I mentioned earlier, I completely did a brand new website that's focused on the senior segment, our retirees and downsizers. I now am working with a company who's going to handle my customer relationship management, so my CRM. And now, I don't know how much everybody is into, the internet and online digital and social media, but through search engine optimization and search engine marketing, I'm going to be doing outbound marketing, specific to seniors and downsizing to bring leads back towards me. So
Yeah.
I have that I'll be doing. And I'm also working with yet a second company who will be working with the search engine optimization. But because I teach and if somebody calls, I can't answer the phone, I'll now have transaction coordinators who will take those calls, who will book those appointments for me, and make sure that I don't miss those. And then finally, I'm going to start to do online webinars where rather than talking to just one person at a time, hopefully I can talk to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people at the same time, and then bring more people into my funnel and keep them in it. And then long term, what I'm hoping to do is start to bring in enough leads that I can start to work with others like myself who have a SRES designation, Senior Real Estate Specialist designation, to work with me with some of these other clients that I might not be able to get to. So I'll tell you it was a mouthful.
Boy, that was comprehensive. Holy hell. Okay,
Oh,
so um, do you have a team in place? Because I think that you're going to have real opportunities. So because again, you can't handle it all, right?
no, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't have a team in place per se. I have had
Yes.
transaction coordinators I've worked with. I've got other agents who help me with showings and things like that, like in
Yes.
the daytime when I can't do that. But my plans are like I used to own a business, and one thing I found out about myself is I don't really like managing people.
Hmm.
I'm I'm more, everybody's smart. Everybody get out there and do it themselves. I can't tell you what to do, as much as me, but people start to think that you can. But anyway, that's going to happen. So again, I bring in the leads. I'm going to partner with other SRES agents, start to, funnel some of those out, let them handle that and manage it in that way. Because I would rather to have other people own a piece of it than to
Yes.
manage people who don't. So really, I'd be looking for people who are more senior. And usually by the time somebody gets that designation, ordinarily it's not a new agent, they've done it for a while, but that's how I plan to manage any onslaught of business. And I hope that that happens. We'll see what happens over the next year or so.
Well, let's manifest it. I believe that it will, and I think partnership is the key. And it's funny because I'm looking at one of my boys, ESG, who's up in the Northeast.
Mhm.
I'm pretty fortunate that roughly about one out of every five transactions I handle are referred to me by
Yeah,
my peeps all around the country. And I think because of that designation, and again. You're with a company that does a lot of relocation. I see it happening for you.
yeah.
One, and I want it for you. And I think that's the beauty of again, we keep talking about community is, man, we want everybody to kick ass.
Everybody,
Everybody, right?
everybody.
Because there's
There's
more
enough to
than
go
enough.
around. Yeah.
There's more than enough. And I
Mhm.
will tell you, I see a couple of my title partners on here. Those guys are fantastic. I think their attention to detail is so if you need anything, again, I know your business is all over, but trust me, regardless of whether you're here in far North Dallas or Denton County, my peeps over at Universal Title, they love nothing more than to help service you if you have a need. So
Definitely.
again, don't be bashful. I'll make that introduction if you don't have it already. And brother, I cannot thank you enough because this has been so informative. I will be joining your group probably once we finish today.
Yeah, I'll
So
tell you again, DFW 55 plus movement on Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
Website to come.
Got it. Larry, thank you again, man.